name's Susan Jane Brown. I'm a staff attorney with the Western Environmental Law Center in Portland. And my presentation hopefully is going to be pretty short because a lot of it's already been covered, so this is great. So Courtney was just talking a lot about some of the state processes that this pipeline and terminal need to go through before they're authorized. And I'm going to talk about the federal component because there's definitely the state land use issue that is going to be huge, and that has to do with the permits that the state has to issue as well as local county level permits that need to be issued. Because I'm a federal practitioner and I think that's the only world that exists, I'm going to talk about some of those federal legal issues that are going to be coming up. I'm not going to go through the history because Robin went through that pretty well. I think that the important thing to know, sort of for the legal practitioners in the audience, is that what Jordan Cove and Pacific Connector are after in this particular context is a certificate of public convenience and necessity, which is something that the Federal Energy Regulatory Commission, which is a federal agency, issues pursuant to Section 3 and Section 7 of the Natural Gas Act of 1937. So yes, we are dealing with a very old law that was, developed and was enacted by Congress at the time when we were trying to develop infrastructure in this country. And so it had a definite purpose at that particular time. Today, I think the purposes have changed quite a bit, but unfortunately we're left with a pretty old statute. And one of the things that this statute also allows, which is why Bob is going to talk to you and back cleanup here, is that it does allow for the holder of the certificate of public convenience and necessity the right of eminent domain. And eminent domain is the ability to essentially condemn private property, typically for public use. So you usually see this in the context of governments doing this, where the federal government comes in and condemns private property for public use, building something like a power facility or infrastructure that would be used for a public good. In this case, we're talking about giving the power of eminent domain to a private company. And that's the Jordan Cove and Pacific Connector company that is the advocate for this project. So you're essentially giving what used to be used for public good, you're giving that pretty significant power of condemning private property for private gain. Because all that is going to be benefited by this proposal is this private company that is going to be making huge profits exporting domestic natural gas either from the United States or Canada to overseas. So it's kind of a lot of hooey. I'm not talk about time. So environmental review, like I said, the environmental review at the federal level is going to be undertaken by the Federal Energy Regulatory Commission, or FERC. And this analysis is going to, and by the way, FERC is going to be preparing an environmental impact statement for this. As opposed to when this project was originally proposed as import, the Forest Service and BLM, Bureau of Land Management, which own a good portion of the land that is in